Hey, how about Avery Dixon's amazing performance on the semi-final of America's Got Talent? This is really going to be great news for saxophone, bringing it right to the mainstream, and Avery just does such an amazing job. He's covering Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground, sort of 12/8, really funky rolling 12/8 from his Inner Visions album, from Stevie's Inner Visions album. And this whole performance is so beautifully crafted that I had to break it down for you. Now, coming up, you can see the time down there. If you just want to skip straight to the performance and see the transcription and learn all the notes, you can jump straight to that time now. But I've got some stuff I want to point out about this solo, which is really mind-blowing. First of all, you can get a free PDF for this whole performance using the link that you can see there, or click the link in the description. Secondly, if you join my Inner Circle membership, I'm going to delve into every single phrase and explain exactly how it's fingered, how it's played, and there's loads of other great benefits inside the Inner Circle as well. Plus, there's a free 7-day trial, so absolutely nothing ventured, nothing gained. Jump in there, you're going to love the Inner Circle. Right, as I was saying, this is a really, really beautifully crafted performance, and it's all very carefully worked out for maximum impact. You've got the gentle opening section, then into the really funky section, into the cadenza breakdown in the middle, hitting the Altissimo note for the big climax, and the whole thing is performed with fantastic TV production, fantastic little choreographed moves from Avery, and fantastic showmanship. So at the right moments, he's bringing in the crowd. It's absolutely masterful, and he rightly deserves not only his golden buzzer but his place in the final, and I really hope it goes well for him. We'll be following that. I'm sure every sax player will be. So here's a couple of things that I want to point out about this performance that you maybe did know, maybe you didn't know. The first thing is that you might not realize that this entire performance is done to a very strict click track, 126 BPM to be precise, and it sounds like he's playing really free time over the whole thing, but in his ears, in his in-ear monitors, he's got that strict click track. So it makes it even more amazing really, because he's playing freely over the click, but he knows exactly when the downbeats are and when the band are going to come in. And the band, I would almost certainly say, are miming. You know, the brass don't have mics. It's like no sway, no pay. But that's the only way the band can mime accurately as well. He's not cueing the band just come on bang in the click tracks. And if you go and get my PDF transcription, there's a little single percussion stave beneath the main stave that shows you exactly where the band hits are and why it's in time. Also, when I run the track later, you'll see the metronome is just clicking away and it all fits in absolutely perfectly. So that is one surprising thing. I guess that's just the showbiz aspect, isn't it? He had the backing track, it's 2-click track, and he wouldn't have been able to, conduct and do free time stuff in that live situation. So that was one interesting thing that I pointed out that I realised straight away. The second thing is I want to just emphasise how fantastic Avery's tone and timing are. His groove is just really great, and his tone and vibrato are really rich, really full. I mean, it's just such a cracking sound, and he plays with such groove. Like just that opening head section in verse 1, he really, really digs in. It's so great. So it's all played with really fantastic intensity and groove, and just a really, really powerful soaring sound. It's like when he goes into chorus 2 as well. It's a great example of that really powerful sound and really powerful rhythm. Check this out. One thing that you'll notice about this whole performance is many of the phrases have this sort of fall off at the end of the phrase. Most of the time it's on a minor pentatonic, not always, and if you get your PDF you'll see exactly what he plays. It's not always exactly what you think, interestingly, but you've got these nice fall-offs which kind of round off the phrase. It's almost like a sigh. Like, you can see this a lot in his performance, and you noticed it probably at the end of that last phrase I demonstrated. And this goes alongside a lot of decoration in general. So he doesn't just play the melody straight, he uses grace notes and a lot of turns to embellish the melody of the song. For example, if you think about the bridge section of Higher Ground, if he'd played it straight, it would have sounded like this. But this is what Avery does. It's really cool. And he does a lot of these turns and decorations throughout the whole performance, which really gives it a lot of energy and makes it really individual and almost like a sort of singing quality to it. It's absolutely fantastic. And the last thing I wanted to point out is these fast finger patterns that he plays. First of all in the cadenza, and then secondly of all at the end. Now, this is it sounds like a really impressive thing to do. In actual fact, as Avery knows, and as I know, and any sort of pro saxophone will know, it's not actually that difficult to play, but it just sounds so fantastic. And I love the way he brings the dynamic down on this fast pattern, and then brings it up just before the big climax to the high C Altissimo note, which he absolutely nails. So let's have a look at that first pattern in the bridge. So as you can see, when you slow it down, you can hear the individual notes, but of course when it's played up to full speed, it just sounds really fast, and it falls really nicely under the fingers. I mean, you're not going to play something like that doesn't fall nicely under the fingers, are you? That's just completely self-defeating. But there's another fantastic pattern towards the end, and that's what this one sounds like. So these are really impressive and exciting patterns that you can throw into the solo, which are actually quite easy to play. But under that amount of pressure, my God, that guy absolutely nails it. I mean, the whole thing, he must have rehearsed. If you're watching this, Avery, I just know you must have rehearsed so much, and you knew exactly what you were doing when you walked onto that stage, because it's under that kind of pressure on that stage, the way you performed it is absolutely insane. It was so fantastic. And just before you hear the whole thing with all the music shown on screen, how can we not mention that final Altissimo climax? Now, on the way up, he does what's called the cannonball trill. I'm going to do a whole video on the cannonball trill, but you basically trill the side E key. And then he takes a little break just to reset his embouchure before hitting the G, B flat, and top C. It is absolutely stellar. It just sounds so good. But not only that, he comes down from it using B flat, A, G, F, E flat, and C. So it kind of sounds something like this. Absolutely fantastic. I think that was just the moment that completely sealed the deal. Anyway, like I mentioned, don't forget to get your free PDF, and there's a complete breakdown of the whole solo inside the Inner Circle. The link for the Inner Circle is in the description. So here's the whole performance of Avery Dixon playing Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder on the semi-final of America's Got Talent 2022. Just learn what you can from this solo, but more than anything, just enjoy this wonderful performance on saxophone, which I think is going to do wonders for the instrument and for people, you know, wanting to take up this wonderful piece of tubing that we all know and love. Here it is. So I hope you really enjoy using the transcription. Now, if you go and get the PDF sheet music using the link there, or the link shown in the, clicking the link in the description, there's more on the actual PDF than I've shown on screen. There's extra phrasing, there's the rhythm section stave, which shows you where all the hits are, and some extra little things which I took out to make it look a bit cleaner on the screen. So make sure you go and grab that PDF. Like I mentioned, there's a full breakdown of the whole solo inside my Inner Circle membership, so go and check out that. And if you have bought me a coffee to say thank you, I thank you very much for the coffee. You can use the link that you can see there. You're all so generous, and I really, really appreciate it, and it all really helps. I'll be back with more fantastic sax content next week. I'm pro saxophonist Jamie Anderson. You've been watching Get Your Sax Together. And until next week, practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music. Take it easy. A click track going very... That's a bullshit way of saying it.